Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. So I got a question on Snapchat, and I was debating doing a Snapchat video, but I got plenty of those. I got a few saved for tomorrow. So for today, I wanted to answer it here exclusively for YouTube. So thank you everybody who's brand new. Make sure you subscribe. And then go check out the blog too, alright? Theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Subscribe there, and also make sure you follow me on Snapchat, alright? You can get lots of exclusive stuff that are only on Snapchat. Okay, so today's video is going to be about how to negotiate budgets. And we've done so many videos on this, but I know there's so many new audience members, and we're probably going to have a longer webinar style video maybe next month or the month after. We're back on doing the regular monthly webinars, myself and Chris. We just had one the other day. In case you missed it, go check it out. It's about how to get more studies for your site. Contracts and budgets, definitely like top 3 priority for any research site. I mean, I would say priority 1 is getting studies, priority 2 is probably training your employees, and then priority 3 is contracts and budgets, right? And then you got patient recruitment and all that other stuff. So this video, it's a strategy that we've actually tried the other day for the first time. We've negotiated tons of contracts and budgets, right? We've been doing this for 10 years, over 10 years now. In fact, this is our 11th year doing this. We've negotiated tons of contracts and budgets, many with the same contract people on the other end. So on the pharma side, we're dealing with the same individual. We've established relationships with them already. So I'm giving you this context to let you understand that we have a relationship with these people. So what I'm about to recommend you do, you try this only if you have a good relationship and fairly open communication with the person on the other end. All right. So this strategy we've only employed after negotiating like 5 contracts with this guy from the pharma company. All right, same guy. Right. So what we did was, we wanted to try something out, and we wanted to test the market, which you should always be doing if you can afford it. Test the market. If you have a relationship and you feel like you can be open with the other guy, test it, all right? So what we did is we told this other guy on the other end from the sponsor side, who's responsible for negotiating the budget on behalf of the sponsor, and we're obviously negotiating the budget on behalf of the site. We said, hey, rather than spending all this time going back and forth negotiating the entire budget and then going like assessment by assessment, why don't you give us the difference between what we already have? So anytime you get a study, they're going to send you an initial budget, and then you're supposed to negotiate it and go back and forth. We said, why don't you give us the midway point between what we already have versus what the highest paid site is getting, right? So again, I would never try this with someone brand new that we have no interactions with in the past, no history, no context. We felt fairly comfortable with this person, and the person said, that's interesting, no one's ever asked that. And then we said, well, we know, this is why we're doing it. We're actually testing, we're learning how to negotiate budgets better, so it may not be in your best interest to teach us, but we are going to be using this as a learning experience. So this is a budget that we received. This is for an extension for a clinical trial. So for those of you who don't understand how it works, some clinical trials have an open label extension, right? So the previous clinical trial ended, and now the open label extension came out. So it was time to negotiate that budget. So we already had the assessments kind of negotiated, but we had the opportunity to negotiate more because it's technically a new study. So the sponsor said, that's interesting, okay, we'll do it. And then they went to look at the other sites and all their budgets. They got back to us within a few days and said, hey, just to let you know, you're the second highest paid site. So to give you halfway between what you currently have and what the highest paid site is getting would be taking a pay cut for you. And then we said, okay, now we'll take what we have. Thank you. So we're testing the market. If you have this opportunity, I would suggest doing it. That way you can sort of see, and even if it's a crude way of measuring where you stack up, hopefully it will provide enough insight into how much you're either leaving off the table or whether you're negotiating the budgets the way you should. So we were happy to hear that we were the second highest paid site. Of course, this is really good for our consulting firm because we negotiate contracts and budgets for our clients all the time. So we're definitely going to be bragging about that. But I wanted to, this video is for you more experienced research clinics that have dialogue and have a rapport and have history with the sponsors, and you've been negotiating numerous contracts and budgets with the same person. Develop that trust. This is why it's important to develop relationships in this industry, right? Whether it's the project manager and you've worked on 5 trials with them in the past, or a contract specialist and you've negotiated like 4 or 5 contracts with them in the past. I would even do it like on the 3rd contract with someone, with the same person. Test it out, see where you stand. Always be measuring, always be testing. Otherwise, you really don't know where you stand unless you collaborate and network with a bunch of other sites who are doing the same study as well, which would be option number 2 for those of you brand new sites out there. Sites typically don't mind sharing information as far as what they've been able to negotiate on the budgets. And the best place to do this for you brand new sites is at the investigator meeting. So when you're at these investigator meetings, introduce yourself to some of the other sites. There's plenty of opportunities for this at dinner, lunches, outings, breakout sessions. Try to network with as many people as you can, and then just be open with them. Say, hey, we're a brand new site. We don't know whether we're negotiating the way we should be. Generally, sites try to help each other out because it's in everyone's best interest. It's in the entire industry's best interest when it comes to research clinics for sponsors to pay sites more, right? It's in the best interest of the sites for that to happen. So if we get better, we being the sites, get better at negotiating our own budgets, it raises the bar for everyone, right? A rising tide lifts all ships, all right? That's a common expression used by sailors or something, I believe, but it applies in this situation. So for the experienced sites out there, you can still do networking at investigator meetings, but definitely try this little hack if you feel courageous enough to do so. And then for you brand new sites, network like crazy with other sites at investigator meetings, and then really focus on building these relationships with the project managers or the contract and budget specialist on the other end. All right, Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thank you very much. Take care.